Welcome to Rome, the Eternal City, a place where ancient ruins stand beside Renaissance masterpieces, and every street seems to reveal another layer of history. Once the center of a vast empire that shaped the Western world, Rome today blends classical monuments, lively piazzas, quiet neighborhoods, and remarkable works of art into one unforgettable destination. In this guide, we explore some of the city's most fascinating landmarks, from imperial forums and hidden catacombs to the heart of Vatican City itself. Let's begin in the smallest country on Earth. Nestled within the heart of Rome, Vatican City is an independent sovereign state and the spiritual center of the Roman Catholic Church. Covering less than half a square kilometer, it is home to the Pope and some of the world's most important religious and artistic treasures. The Vatican even maintains its own postal service, radio station, citizenship system, and armed force, the colorful Swiss Guard, established in 1506 and still responsible for protecting the Pope today. At the heart of Vatican City stands St. Peter's Basilica, the largest church in the world, and one of Christianity's most important sites. It is traditionally believed to stand over the tomb of St. Peter, one of Jesus' 12 apostles and the first pope. Pilgrims have visited this sacred site for nearly 2,000 years. Construction of the present church began in 1506 and continued for more than a century. Several of the greatest Renaissance architects contributed to its design, including Donato Bramante, Michelangelo, and Gian Lorenzo Bernini. Inside, the scale of the basilica becomes immediately clear. The vast central nave stretches nearly 200 meters in length, lined with towering marble columns and richly decorated chapels. Gold mosaics cover the ceilings above, designed to reflect light throughout the interior and emphasize the immense height of the space. One of the most famous works of art here is Michelangelo's Pietà, located just inside the entrance. Sculpted when he was only in his early 20s, the piece depicts the Virgin Mary holding the body of Christ with remarkable realism and emotional detail. At the center of the basilica stands Bernini's monumental bronze baldachin, a towering canopy above the high altar and tomb of St. Peter. Rising nearly 30 meters high, it creates a dramatic focal point beneath the Great Dome. For many visitors, it is one of the most memorable sights in Rome. One of the most extraordinary artistic spaces anywhere in the world is the Sistine Chapel, located within Vatican City. Built in the late 15th century under Pope Sixtus IV, the chapel takes its name from him and served as the Pope's private chapel for important religious ceremonies. Today, it remains one of the Catholic Church's most important sites, where cardinals gather in conclave to elect a new pope. When a decision has been reached, white smoke rises from the chapel chimney, signaling to the world that a new pope has been chosen. The chapel is best known for its breathtaking frescoes painted by Michelangelo between 1508 and 1512. Covering more than 500 square meters, the ceiling illustrates scenes from the Book of Genesis, including the creation of the sun and moon, the separation of light from darkness, and the story of Noah. At the center of the composition is the iconic creation of Adam, where God reaches out toward Adam in one of the most recognizable images in the history of Western art. More than 20 years later, Michelangelo returned to paint the Last Judgment on the altar wall. This dramatic masterpiece depicts the second coming of Christ and the final judgment of souls, filled with powerful emotion and movement. Standing beneath the ceiling is one of Rome's most unforgettable experiences. Leading to the Sistine Chapel is one of the largest and most important museum complexes in the world, the Vatican Museums. Founded by Pope Julius II in the early 16th century, the Vatican Museums house one of the world's greatest art collections, with galleries showcasing treasures from ancient Rome and the Renaissance. Among the highlights are the Gallery of Maps, where detailed painted maps of Italy from the 16th century line both sides of a long vaulted corridor. And the Raphael rooms, decorated with frescoes by Raphael and his students. These rooms were originally intended as private apartments for the Pope, and remain among the finest examples of high Renaissance painting. Visitors also encounter classical Roman sculptures, ancient Egyptian artifacts, tapestries, and decorative works collected by the church over many centuries. Due to its popularity, tickets often sell out in advance, so booking ahead is recommended. Leaving Vatican City and crossing the Tiber, we return to the historic center of Rome, where one of the city's most distinctive landmarks rises ahead: Castel Sant'Angelo. Originally built as the mausoleum of Emperor Hadrian, it was later transformed into a fortress and papal refuge connected to St. Peter's Basilica by a secret passage known as the Passetto di Borgo. Today, Castel Sant'Angelo functions as a museum, where visitors can explore its spiral ramps, historic chambers, and former papal apartments while learning about its layered past as a tomb, fortress, prison, and residence. At the top of the structure, a wide terrace offers one of the finest panoramic viewpoints in Rome, with sweeping views across the Tiber toward St. Peter's Basilica and the surrounding skyline. Leading to the imposing fortress is Ponte Sant'Angelo, one of the most elegant and historic bridges across the Tiber River. Built in the 2nd century AD under Emperor Hadrian, it served as the ceremonial approach to the emperor's mausoleum. Centuries later, during the 17th century, the bridge was transformed under the direction of Gian Lorenzo Bernini, who designed a series of striking angel statues that now line both sides of the walkway. Each figure holds an object connected to the Passion of Christ, creating a symbolic route for pilgrims approaching St. Peter's Basilica. More than just a crossing over the Tiber, Ponte Sant'Angelo remains one of the most beautiful and historically significant bridges in Rome. One of Rome's most elegant public spaces is Piazza Navona, a square that beautifully blends ancient history with Baroque architecture. Its distinctive oval shape follows the outline of an ancient Roman stadium, built by Emperor Domitian in the 1st century AD. Once capable of holding around 30,000 spectators, the stadium's original form remains clearly visible in the surrounding buildings today. Visitors can even descend 4.5 meters beneath the square to explore the remains of the Stadium of Domitian, a UNESCO World Heritage Site, and the only known masonry stadium of its kind in ancient Rome. The underground museum offers a fascinating glimpse into the origins of the arena and the sporting events once held there. At the center of the square stands Bernini's 17th century Fountain of the Four Rivers. It features 4 river gods representing the Nile, Ganges, Danube, and Rio de la Plata, topped by an ancient Egyptian obelisk. Opposite the fountain stands the Church of Sant'Agnese in Agone, designed in part by Francesco Borromini, Bernini's great artistic rival. Together, the church and fountain form one of the finest examples of Baroque urban design anywhere in Rome. 2 additional fountains complete the square's layout, including the Fontana del Moro at the southern end. Enhanced by Bernini, it depicts a figure wrestling a dolphin, surrounded by 4 tritons, and the Fontana del Nettuno to the north, where Neptune battles an octopus amid sea creatures and mythological figures, completing the square's balanced layout. Today, Piazza Navona remains one of the city's most atmospheric gathering places, filled with cafes, artists, and street performers. In the evening especially, as the fountains are illuminated and the surrounding buildings glow in warm light, it becomes one of the most memorable locations in the historic center of Rome. Among the best preserved buildings of ancient Rome, the Pantheon has stood at the heart of the city for nearly 2,000 years. Originally built as a temple to the Roman gods, it was rebuilt during the reign of Emperor Hadrian between AD 118 and 125. Later converted into a Christian church, its continuous use has helped preserve it in exceptional condition. From the outside, the building is defined by its grand classical portico, supported by 16 massive granite columns brought from Egypt. Above them, the inscription on the facade still honors an earlier temple commissioned by Marcus Agrippa, whose name remains associated with the monument nearly 2,000 years later. Stepping inside reveals the Pantheon's most extraordinary feature, its vast concrete dome, still the largest unreinforced concrete dome in the world. Even by modern engineering standards, its construction remains a remarkable achievement. At the center of the dome is the oculus, a circular opening nearly 9 meters wide. As sunlight enters, it moves across the interior throughout the day, creating a unique atmosphere inside the ancient building. Today, the Pantheon also serves as the final resting place of several important historical figures, including the Renaissance painter Raphael, and 2 kings of Italy, Victor Emmanuel II, the first king of a unified Italy, and his son Umberto I. Their impressive tombs remain among the most important royal monuments inside the Pantheon, reflecting the building's continued significance throughout Italian history. Today, the Pantheon remains an active place of worship, drawing visitors from around the world. One of the most famous landmarks in Rome is the Trevi Fountain, the largest Baroque fountain in the city, and one of the most recognizable fountains anywhere in the world. Completed in 1762 after nearly 30 years of construction, the fountain marks the endpoint of an ancient Roman aqueduct that once supplied fresh water to the city. At its center stands the dramatic figure of Oceanus, the god of the sea, surrounded by sculpted horses and tritons representing the changing moods of the ocean. The fountain has become closely linked with a long-standing tradition. Tossing a coin over your shoulder into the water is said to ensure a return visit to Rome. Today, thousands of coins are collected here each day and donated to charity. Although visitors can no longer sit on the fountain's edge or enter the water, it remains one of Rome's most iconic landmarks, especially in the evening, when the sculptures are illuminated and the marble appears to glow against the surrounding buildings. Connecting Piazza di Spagna below with the Church of Trinità dei Monti above, the Spanish Steps form one of the most recognizable gathering places in Rome. Completed in 1725, the staircase was designed as both a practical route between the square and the hilltop church, and as an elegant piece of Baroque urban architecture. With 135 steps arranged across a series of terraces and viewpoints, it quickly became a popular meeting place for travelers, artists and writers visiting Rome. At the base of the steps stands the Fontana della Barcaccia, a distinctive boat-shaped fountain designed by Pietro Bernini and his son Gian Lorenzo Bernini, adding another decorative focal point to the square. Today, the Spanish Steps remain one of the liveliest and most photographed locations in the historic center, offering a natural place to pause while enjoying views across Piazza di Spagna and the surrounding streets of Rome. No monument represents ancient Rome more clearly than the Colosseum, the largest amphitheater ever built in the Roman world and one of the most recognizable landmarks on Earth. Built nearly 2,000 years ago, the Colosseum could hold up to 50,000 spectators who gathered here to watch gladiatorial contests, dramatic battle reenactments, wild animal hunts, and elaborate staged performances that sometimes lasted for days at a time. The seating arrangement inside the Colosseum reflected the strict hierarchy of Roman society. Emperors and senators sat closest to the arena, while ordinary citizens filled the upper levels, reinforcing the social order even during entertainment. Despite centuries of damage, the Colosseum still stands as a powerful reminder of the scale and ambition of ancient Rome. The Colosseum remains one of Italy's most visited landmarks, so booking tickets in advance is highly recommended. Beside the Colosseum lies the Roman Forum, once the political, religious, and commercial center of ancient Rome. For centuries, it was the heart of the empire, hosting speeches, celebrations, and triumphal processions. Today, visitors can wander among the remains of temples, basilicas, and government buildings that once shaped life across the empire. Among the most recognizable structures are the Temple of Saturn, which once housed the state treasury, and the Arch of Septimius Severus, built to commemorate Roman victories in the East. Running through the Forum is the Via Sacra, the main ceremonial road of ancient Rome, once used for triumphal parades celebrating military victories on their way toward the Capitoline Hill. Walking through the Roman Forum offers a rare opportunity to stand at the heart of ancient Rome, surrounded by the remains of structures that once controlled an empire stretching across 3 continents. Dominating Piazza Venezia, the Altare della Patria, also known as the Vittoriano, is one of Rome's most striking monuments and a symbol of Italian unity. At its center stands a huge marble statue of Victor Emmanuel II. Above, bronze chariots drawn by 4 horses crown the monument, adding to its dramatic silhouette above Rome. At the base of the monument lies Italy's Tomb of the Unknown Soldier, where an eternal flame burns under ceremonial guard. Inside the complex is the Museum of the Risorgimento, which tells the story of Italy's 19th century unification through historical documents, uniforms, weapons, and personal belongings linked to key figures such as Giuseppe Garibaldi and Camillo Benso, Count of Cavour. Visitors can also take lifts to the monument's upper terraces, where panoramic viewpoints offer sweeping views across the rooftops of Rome, including the nearby Roman Forum and the Colosseum in the distance. Located just beyond the main historic center are the Baths of Caracalla, one of the largest and most impressive bath complexes of ancient Rome. Built in the 3rd century AD during the reign of Emperor Caracalla, the baths could accommodate thousands of visitors each day and were far more than just a place to wash. The complex included hot, warm, and cold bathing rooms, along with gymnasiums, gardens, and even libraries, making it an important social and cultural center for the people of Rome. Today, the vast brick walls and towering arches still give a clear sense of the scale and sophistication of Roman engineering, offering a glimpse into daily life during the height of the Roman Empire. Stretching out from Rome is the Appian Way, one of the oldest roads of the ancient Roman world. Built more than 2,000 years ago, parts of the original stone route still survive today, lined with ancient tombs, ruins, and peaceful countryside. Walking here offers a unique glimpse into a quieter side of Rome's past. Beneath the streets of Rome lies a hidden world of catacombs and crypts, offering a fascinating glimpse into a side of the city many visitors never see. The ancient catacombs stretch for kilometers beneath Rome, with narrow passageways lined with burial niches used by early Christian communities nearly 2,000 years ago. Some of the most well-known examples include the Catacombs of San Callisto and the Catacombs of San Sebastiano, where early popes and Christian figures were buried. In certain areas, simple frescoes and symbols can still be seen on the walls, reflecting early Christian beliefs and traditions. In contrast, Rome's crypts present a more unusual and visually striking experience. One of the most famous is the Capuchin crypt, where the remains of thousands of monks have been arranged into intricate patterns along the walls, forming decorative displays made from bones. Though very different from Rome's grand landmarks above ground, they remain among the city's most memorable experiences. Across the Tiber River, on the opposite side from many of the city's major landmarks, lies Trastevere, one of the most atmospheric and characterful neighborhoods in Rome. Known for its narrow cobbled streets, colorful buildings, and ivy-covered facades, it offers a more local and traditional side of the city, away from Rome's busiest landmarks. Around almost every corner are small piazzas, cafes, and restaurants that give the area a relaxed, authentic atmosphere. At its heart is Santa Maria in Trastevere, one of the oldest churches in Rome, with origins dating back to the 3rd century. Inside, the church is known for its striking golden mosaics, particularly those in the apse, which depict scenes from the life of the Virgin Mary, and reflect the rich artistic heritage of the area. By day, Trastevere is ideal for wandering its charming streets and piazzas. In the evening it comes to life, with restaurants and bars filling the streets and creating one of the most vibrant nightlife areas in Rome. Set within the Villa Borghese gardens, the Galleria Borghese houses one of Rome's most impressive art collections. Inside, the rooms are richly decorated with frescoed ceilings, marble floors, and ornate details, creating an experience that feels more like walking through a private palace than a traditional museum. Among the highlights are several masterpieces by Gian Lorenzo Bernini, including Apollo and Daphne and the Abduction of Proserpina, both celebrated for their extraordinary detail and lifelike movement. Other treasures include Raphael's The Deposition and Antonio Canova's elegant sculpture of Pauline Bonaparte as Venus Victorious. Visitors can also admire Caravaggio's David with the Head of Goliath, a dramatic and intensely personal painting believed to feature Caravaggio's own likeness in the severed head. Because entry is strictly limited to timed slots, visiting the gallery feels noticeably calmer and less crowded than many of Rome's larger museums. Booking tickets in advance is essential to secure a place. The surrounding Villa Borghese gardens provide the perfect place to unwind afterwards, making the Galleria Borghese one of the most rewarding cultural experiences in Rome. Hidden away on the peaceful Aventine Hill is one of Rome's most unusual viewpoints, the Aventine Keyhole. Set within the gate of the Priory of the Knights of Malta, the keyhole offers a perfectly framed view through a long tree-lined corridor that leads the eye directly toward the dome of St. Peter's Basilica in the distance. It's a simple but memorable stop that showcases one of Rome's best hidden perspectives. From imperial arenas and ancient roads to Renaissance masterpieces and hidden viewpoints, Rome offers an extraordinary journey through more than 2,000 years of history. Whether it's your first visit or your return to the Eternal City, there is always something new waiting to be discovered. If you enjoyed exploring Rome with infinite horizons, don't forget to like the video and subscribe for more travel guides from around the world.